Trae. Come on, it's the day with Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Well, hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a wonder-filled Wednesday, y'all. Of course, our last Wednesday of 2025, and I'm so excited for my guest who's in the building, the co-founder and executive director of How2listen, Justin Pinder, or Pinder as he is known, is here joining us. He's going to be telling us all about this phenomenal organization that is a true platform for artists up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm so grateful that he's here and that we get to learn more. But y'all know I'm grateful you're here as well. This is the best time of the show where y'all help us grow by sharing the show with folks who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness that we work to give you here on the Day with Trae. And as always, if you can't listen to us or watch us, you can listen to us, right? So either way, you can see it on video or you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find us there. Now, before I get into it with Pinder, I want to say that there's something really special about how we support our artists. And I'm going to tell you that I was just having a great conversation with a local artist who is well known, doing great work. But there are some creative things that we can be doing to elevate platforms that really help our artists grow. And, you know, for the most part, as long as people are aware of their music and it's spreading, that's what they're looking for. And it was interesting because to get in a conversation, you learn that there are so much that happens when you're trying to put a tour together, right? Like you're booking the venues, you're paying for, you know, stuff out of pocket. You're trying to make sure you got the right sound people because sound is everything, right? For musicians. And you know, if you want to have certain vibes, you got to go an extra mile to make it happen. And it's just something that I got to experience with Black Stacks. That's right. Y'all know how much I love Black Stacks. And being on their European tour with them showed me so much about what it takes to be an artist, to have not only a local audience base, but an international one. And I just want to encourage artists out there because they talk a lot about the scene in the Pacific Northwest, but there's something very special about us being able to contribute to an artist's growth. When we check in for them, when we are listening to their music, downloading their streams, pumping them up, sharing their music with other people, we have an opportunity to help them elevate to the next level. So I want to encourage y'all to do just that. You know, during this time of the end of the year, everyone gets into this holiday season, but there are so many great shows that get put on by local talent who know exactly what they're doing, and they're going to give you a phenomenal show. So while we may, you know, want to travel, I know we travel, we got to see these big names, we do, but there's also people right here in our backyard that we should be supporting. And I've been learning, y'all, okay? I've been learning about some of these dope artists, people I did not know about. So there's so much more to explore, even for me. So I thought I would share that with y'all because it's something I'm trying to be more intentional about, right? When I see different artists pop up on my feed, my social media feed or something, I start diving in, learning more about them, and finding out that some of these folks are right here from Seattle or Washington State. I'm blown away because they're putting out phenomenal songs, visuals, and I tell you, I'm vibing with it. So I know that there's some things that y'all could likely explore too in terms of our great talent right here in the Northwest. I'm encouraging y'all to do that so we can help our artists soar as much as they want to. It really does start right here at home. Well, after this short break, up next, we got Pinder in the building, y'all. We're going to be learning all about how to listen. You definitely don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Like a warm cup of tea, coffee, or your favorite bowl of soup, Washington Health Plan Finder is here for you. Whether you're exploring your options or need help finding a health insurance plan that meets your needs, you can count on us. Visit wahealthplanfinder.org today. Open enrollment begins November 1st and ends January 15th, 2026.
Hey friends, Victor Gordon here. You see the shots and you see the vibe. I gotta give a huge shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Jordan Summers and Summers Media. Seriously, Jordan doesn't just take pictures, he captures the essence. Every time I step in front of that lens, I know it's gonna be a moment. If you're trying to get your right shots, the ones that truly stand out, hit him up and tell Jordan that Basis sent you.
Welcome back, y'all, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get the opportunity to introduce y'all to Pinder. What's up, Pinder?
How you?
I'm
Good to see
good.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. And, you know, it's great to be able to learn a little bit about you. So give us some background here, because this is a unique type of organization that you've created. Tell us a little bit about what got you started in music and then getting to this place where you created How2listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I started here in Seattle. I'm from Seattle. Not born but raised. Went to high school here. Started with Sport and Life Records, D Black, Devon Manier, Vitamin D. They got me started. Went from being an artist, moving to LA, working in the industry for Dr. Trae and a few others and some other majors and whatnot, and transitioned from an artist to a manager to an A&R to an executive, and now we have How2listen, which is the nonprofit we just launched in June, focusing resources and energy and intentionality on the Northwest scene.
Wow. You know, I think there's something really special about some of the eclectic nature of music that we can, you know, come up with here in the Pacific Northwest. Tell us a bit about how you took your talent to then serve artists.
Yeah. I think the Northwest is one of the most unique places for artistry in all forms, not just music. When it comes to music, we're a community that's kind of under the radar outside of maybe grunge. So moving to LA, which was something that I felt was necessary for me at the time to have a different experience as it relates to industry and success, but also learn some of the things that I couldn't learn here. So my goal, you know, in my lifetime and my experience was to go to LA, learn, and bring it back here, because I think that there's an untapped potential. There's a lot of untapped stories, and I lost track of the question a little bit, but I think what I'm trying to do with How2listen, it very much relates to trying to help artists get the recognition that they deserve from here.
Well, you hit it on the head, because I mean, there's something special about your unique understanding of this area, the industry experience you gain in LA and bringing it back to the area to then serve artists. But you're so right in terms of being under the radar. Tell us a little bit more about How2listen and how you're working to bridge that gap for artists.
Yeah, so How2listen for me was an accumulation of my professional and creative experiences in the industry. I realized once I got to working for labels and distributors that there were a set of problems that everyone was trying to solve, but really not trying to solve it, just trying to monetize the problem. And I've always been invested in my community, whether it was in management where I was able to support a handful of artists, maybe to a large degree, maybe not to the degree I wanted to. So a part of How2listen was like, how do I scale my efforts and try to help as many as I possibly can without being completely responsible for the outcomes, but you know, what are the true necessities for an artist today? And with the state of the industry and streaming, it's a weird time. The music industry is making the most money it's ever made, but many of the artists that are independent and smaller are making the least amount of money, or at least the opportunity to make money isn't really there because you can't sell a CD like you used to, or sell a download like you used to. So I think it's a great time to start thinking about new systems and new structures. And for me, it was like, what does that mean? A part of the issue is the money is going up top, it's not going down low. So as somebody who builds a label or distribution company, a lot of the times your goal is to scale and make as much money as possible for the company and your shareholders. It's not necessarily to prioritize the money getting to the artist. And I felt the only way you could do that is by doing a nonprofit. How can I help as many artists as possible, sacrifice the money going up top, and give the money to the people that actually drive the machine?
Yeah. You know, there's something special about these innovative models that we're seeing within, you know, our communities, because there's such a huge need to not only identify what it looks like to be innovative in this market, particularly because there are so many difficulties that artists are facing. It's basically hitting the artist more than anything. And we're hearing this from major artists, right? So you can only imagine how it's impacting an artist who may not have that large of a platform. Exactly. So I really appreciate your approach in this. How does the nonprofit kind of fit in to really fill this gap that we all know is there?
Yeah. Well, as it relates to the Northwest, this is a music town, but it's not necessarily an industry town. So as someone who's worked in the industry, being here, there isn't a lot of opportunity to make a living in the business. And that just it's a disconnect for me. It doesn't make too much sense, and I think it's an intentionality thing. So for How2listen, our main focus is to give artists more runway. It's hard to make $1,000 in streaming. It's hard to justify recording music. You're taking money out of your family's pockets a lot of the time. So how can we help artists record music, most foundationally, but also help them scale their efforts? And in launching How2listen, I've learned a lot in these few months when it comes to this town in particular, and why maybe we haven't been able to establish music industry business here in the way that we'd like to. And I honestly feel it's a mentality thing when it comes to us. And like you said in your intro, it's really about people making a decision to support those that are, you know, right next to them, that deserve it, that are super talented, that maybe don't have the resources or the chance to like go to LA and learn from, you know, a big artist there and then bring it back here. So personally, that was the goal for this thing. It's how do I take my 15 years in LA, bring it back here, all the relationships, all the resources, all the experience, and set the future up for artists here to succeed and not have to go to LA like I did, and many others.
I adore this concept. I mean, I completely adore it. I think it's it was a missing link for me. And I'll tell you, I have contemplated this a lot, not just because of my show, but just in my life, because I'm like, man, we have some dope talent here. And I have gone to so many shows, worked to support so many different artists, just listening to them talk about the complexities of, you know, maybe being black in the Pacific Northwest, just the unique stories that we have to tell, that people want to put in, you know, music format, have always been so inspirational for me. But there was something missing, because I thought first off, a lot of people just choose to leave. They're like, this isn't a music town. Like you said, it's not an industry town. So a lot of people are like, I just need to get to another place and I'm not coming back, right? Because like the folks there didn't support me anyway. Yeah. And I've heard that from artists specifically, and I'm like, man, that's unfortunate. But I never thought that somebody would go get the information, get the resources, get the knowledge, get the relationships, and bring it back. So you're doing something that I think is so necessary for us here, but it also creates a new stream. Tell us about how you're connecting with artists so they understand what How2listen is here to do for them.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things that you said there that are potent. I've been fortunate because of my experience to like attract a lot of the next generation or even my peers. They come to me a lot for different, whether it's resources or advice or whatever. So, having this type of network that I have, it's been really cool to launch this and see the enthusiasm and the support and the natural swell that it currently has. I don't think it's everyone's job to put on for the next generation. It's something that I've struggled with personally. For a long time, I was like, am I going to come back to Seattle and do the things that I really want to do? Because I've tried it in a number of forms, and it was difficult. It wasn't working for a number of reasons. So I think you have to be crazy enough and willing to sort of sacrifice yourself in a way to have the vision to even do a How to Listen. There are so many artists that are from here that have had success, that have come back, but haven't necessarily tried to build a building or infrastructure for music business. And honestly, I'm gonna think about this every day and ask myself, why should I just run off into the sunset and live peacefully, or should I take on this challenge? And I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating. And I just love seeing the artists from this region tell their stories, because I do think, especially people of color, we have such a unique experience here, and our story is so unique for our people that at some point we have to have a chance to tell it. So that's my goal, is to try to provide the platforms and the support for us to get our stuff off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, what's so interesting too is I realized in my kind of travels, I was having conversations with folks in Kenya, and it's the same conversation, right? Where you have, people looking for talent, but they're skipping over other parts. And then the people that are there who may able to go to the next level, there was a major producer who came back and was doing the same thing, because he's like, man, I was working in, another country, and I had to come back because all of the talent here that I know is not being tapped in with. And so I love this idea of, how do I use my knowledge to support and uplift and amplify, and the work that you're doing, particularly around resources, relationships, and things of that nature, which I think are so crucial to the music business. But I love what you said about being obsessed about it. I think you almost have to be, right? Because this is one of those things that is a bit of an uncharted water that you're navigating. Tell us about some of the things that you're excited for, since y'all just launched. What's exciting for you? What is bringing that joy?
Yeah, right now it's literally having the conversations every day with artists and different, supporters, whether it's small businesses that are owned by former artists that transition to being chefs or whatever their discipline is currently. It's really interesting to see, how people grow over time. That's something that I'm really invested in personally, and with others, is helping people achieve their dreams. I'm really driven by that. And I don't know what that is. It's a conversation for me and a therapist, but I'm just really excited about being able to, bring basic things to this region that haven't existed, just like label relationships and sync relationships and different things that are just they're low-hanging fruit, but for some reason they don't reach here. And I think it's because we're in South Alaska and people don't even know the sun is out here. But yeah, it's a journey. I think the things that I'm most excited about is getting people out in real space. I think the digital era that we're in has it has us all in the house. It has us all in our phones. And coming back here, I've recognized that we don't gather as it relates to the music scene.
Yeah.
We don't gather the way that we used to before I left. So that's foundational. It's like let's hang out. And so creating spaces for us to get together on a regular basis, I think, is super important and foundational. And that was key to what we felt was needed from an ecosystem standpoint in this region. And the first thing that I did was I went around to a bunch of the restaurants and small businesses that I knew supported the scene and said, hey, let's come together. Let's like be vocal about our support. Let's offer our spaces to the community. Let's offer discounts to the community for those that are, donating to How to Listen. You can get 15% off at Communion or Jerk Shack or Fats or Darkolino's, Ciudad, a bunch of restaurants. And that was effort one. It's like, let's bring the ecosystem together and let's show people who is there to support them. And if you know who's there, then you can focus your attention and your time. And then from there, it's, events, like I said, putting people together and doing it in a unique way. And, we go out of town in LA or Houston or Atlanta, industry towns, and we, have these experiences that often don't exist here. So, okay, let's bring some of those here. Mm-hmm. So December 11th, we partner with Controllerize, which is a music community in Atlanta that does this cool Monday listening session where it's just a celebration of music, celebration of community. They call it a after-school program for adults. You can color, you can play video games, you can drink beer, you can listen to music with headphones, without headphones, interact with people. So our event, December 11th at Metier Brewing, is in collaboration with Controllerize and Metier Brewing and Seattle Department of Neighborhoods and Sound Off, which is a super dope silent disco headphone company. And we're going to bring the community together, and we're going to listen to dope music in a way that I haven't seen done here.
Wow. This is the kind of stuff that really gets me excited. I love seeing the innovation, and I want to thank you for coming back and saying, like, I there's something I can bring here to the region, and I think it's so necessary. Of course, if people are trying to, like, stay plugged in with How to Listen, and maybe some folks out there have resources or another skill or talent or volunteer hours or something, I want you to look right there in this camera closest to me. Let them know how they stay tapped in with you.
Yeah, pretty simply, howtolisten.org, how2listen.org. That has, all of our information on the nonprofit. We are looking to partner with people that do want to contribute to the local scene, whether it's on an individual artist level or on a large scale level. The easiest thing you can do is donate to How to Listen. The profits or the donations go to the artists. It's a grant fund for the most part, where we're trying to help artists pay for studio time, mixing and mastering, some wellness support. Some people might need cell phones paid or rent paid, but also marketing, content, all the basic things that are difficult to pay for. So we're accepting donations and all the support that you can bring to the table. I think bringing yourself to the table is the most important thing, though.
Wow. Pinder, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys providing this space. It's an amazing effort that you guys have put together, and I've been admiring it from LA for a number of years, and I'm finally here, and I'm happy to be here.
Wow, that means a lot. And anytime you got updates, you got events popping, come on back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wow, y'all. So inspiring this week, y'all. I'm loving this. I'll be wrapping it all up right after this break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Ain't the same. You don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Acts on Stage presents Detroit 67. This award-winning story chronicles a family having a house party while the city is on fire, and a country dancing to the new sound as it finds itself in the dust of one of the most explosive periods in American history. It seems like it's all coming together and falling apart.
Talking that slick talk with me when I've been drinking?
I'm not trying to cause you any trouble. You've been this whole time as a bunch of trouble. What the hell you doing in Detroit?
This Seattle debut runs November 14th through the 23rd at Acts on Stage Theater. Get down with the get down of Detroit 67.
son of a nutcracker. Elf the Musical sparkles at Fifth Avenue Theater. Follow Buddy from the North Pole to New York City as he searches for his dad, who just might be on Santa's naughty list. With laughter, dazzling tap dancing, and plenty of holiday cheer, Elf the Musical is the perfect outing for your family. Don't miss the holiday spectacular. Elf the Musical at Fifth Avenue Theater, November 28th through December 28th. Get your tickets today at fifthavenue.org.
What better way to spend a Saturday than celebrating Black history? Join the Seattle Public Library on Saturday, December 13th at the Douglas Truth Branch to commemorate the 50th anniversary of its community-chosen name, honoring Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth. We will see you there.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Welcome back to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to my guest today, Pinder, in the building, y'all. I mean, clearly to be able to not only learn, know about this amazing culture here in the Pacific Northwest, but then go to a major market for music in LA, learn so much, bring the knowledge back so that a nonprofit platform could exist to truly support artists up here in our region is nothing but inspiring, right? Like, I am super inspired because I was recently having these kinds of conversations, and those are the ways that I always talk about divine design. Like, there's this amazing web we're all a part of, and we don't know how a certain connection or conversation or relationship might build or change and evolve our story. But I love hearing about this because it is so necessary here, and there's so much great talent. I want to encourage any of you out there who are watching or listening to understand a little bit more about How to Listen. Go to their website, find ways to support. If you have that level of support you can give, you know, he said, look, showing up is the greatest support you can do. That's what our artists need. They need us to show up for them. We need to be able to have spaces where they can, you know, demonstrate their artistry for us. You know, if you are somebody who has a space that could be utilized for that, please make sure y'all tap in with How to Listen. Become a part of that network, because I know that we have the ability to support our artists and get them all the way to international stages, right? It starts right here with us. So let's all learn how we can be a part of this amazing effort. Huge shout out to Pinder for that. And thank y'all so much for watching. I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.